Hello guys, welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Today's video I'll be going over Clash Royale tier list, a brand new one for season 24 and the new current meta changes, guys. There's been some awesome balance changes that happened and a couple different reworks happening this patch. So let's get right into this video, but before we enter, let's get into the question of the day. So the question of the day is by my friend named Gentleman, and he asks, am I a deck composer or am I a person that kind of takes my decks off of Royale API or Deck Studio? And honestly, I gotta say, I do like taking the meta decks off of Royale API, but I am more of a deck composer and I have a couple videos coming up next week, so be sure to stay tuned for some homemade decks next week. And yeah, I think you guys will like these decks. I got a P.E.K.K.A deck, a Golem deck, and also a Battle Ram deck as well. A little bit of a weird one coming in next week. But anyway, let's get right into this tier list here, guys. So for this tier list, we're going to start off with the Goblin. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Goblin. I kind of shuffled up the tier list a little bit, so it's a little different than last video. So it's not as structured as before. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So for the Goblin, starting it off pretty easy right here, as a 1% usage across the entire Clash Royale universe. So Goblins are going to be D trash tier for that reason. 1% out of 100% of people use the Goblins for some reason. I don't know why that 1% even uses them. They're 2 elixir, which is kind of fair, but I believe they should be 1 elixir and they might be worth it. But then again, they can't make them 1 elixir because it's skeletons, like I said before. So for that reason, Goblins are going to be D trash tier because they have absolutely no synergy in the game. So alright, let's get right into this next one, guys. So Barbs. Alright, Barbs was interesting. I'm going to go and place the Barbs at an average tier just because they have pretty good synergy with the Royal Giant, regular Giant, and as well with the Lava Hound. So I'm going to give them B average tier literally just because of their synergy, but they are getting countered pretty hard by the Fire Spirit right now. I was going to say Fire Spirits, but it is getting countered pretty hard by the Fire Spirit, especially because the Fire Spirit can hit all 5 just by hitting the front one. And it does like about like a third of their health. So gotta say, I'm going to get into the Fire Spirit a little bit later, but for that reason, Fire Spirits did lower the Barbs from A to B tier right here, guys. So next one we're going to talk about is the Goblin Dart. So Goblin Dart, I'm going to go ahead and make an average card. It's not amazing. For 3 elixir, I'd much rather have like an Ice Wizard or a Tornado or something else in my deck that's a little more useful and has a little more synergy. For that reason, I'm going to go ahead and place the Goblin Dart as a B average tier right now, guys. And I'm going to go and place the Barred Barrel. I really want to place a below average, but I do not want to get flamed in this video. So we're going to go and place the Bar Barrel as an average tier. I think it's a pretty safe bet to go and put a Bar Barrel in any deck, but it's really not an amazing way. Like, I'd much rather have a Log. I believe a Log is a little higher skill cap than the Bar Barrel. Some people might disagree with that, but I think the Log, you can just make so many better different plays just because the Log has the pushback ability as well, and the Bar Barrel does not. So for that reason, I'm going to go and put that in the average tier. Bowler, it's coming up next, guys. Bowler, I'm excited about. I want to list it as broken. I'm going to go ahead and list it as A above average. And the only reason why it's not broken is because its usage rate is not that high. So I think the Bowler should be used a lot more than it is. I think when it is used, its win rate is insane. It's like 57%. And so yeah, Bowler is an amazing card. And that's why I'm going to go and put it as above average tier, guys. Battle Ram, I'm actually going to go and put it as below average. The only time you ever really see Battle Ram is when it's played with a P.E.K.K.A. And besides the P.E.K.K.A. synergy, it's really not good. Maybe a Bandit. I would say a P.E.K.K.A. or a Bandit is the only thing that you can ever play Battle Ram with, guys. And for that reason, it's going to be below average right here. And coming in at the C tier as well, we're going to go and have the Bats. So we're going to go and set the Bats as below average as well, just because they don't really have synergy. And after that first hit speed for the Bats, they're just not as strong as they used to be, guys. The Bats used to be very, very strong before they had their hit speed nerf, and now that first attack is just super slow, and like they don't even get hit on the tower half the time. Alright, so next one we got is the Elixir Pump. And I did put this Elixir Pump in the trash tier below. It's making its way up to the C tier because its usage is climbing, but I'm still going to have to go and put it as trash. Literally, just my main reason for this Elixir Pump being trash is just its usage. Its usage went up from about 1% to 2%, so it doubled, which sounds good, but still only 2% of people in Clash Royale are using the Elixir Pump. And for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and list it as trash, guys. Alright, so this next one is the Inferno Tower. And coming in, looking at all the towers and buildings as a whole, I'd much rather have any other defensive tower than the Inferno Tower. Inferno Tower is pretty useful, but I feel like the new meta isn't really tanks anymore. Like I just don't really think the P.E.K.K.A, E-Giant, golem. Like, you don't really see him as played as much as before. Now it's more of like a log bait meta, or it's sadly an eagle meta, stuff like that. And maybe a royal hogs, like spam troops basically is a new meta. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and list Inferno Tower as average, guys. I wouldn't necessarily put it in your deck, but it's still a pretty good card all in all. I'm going to have to go and place the you guys might not like this one, but the mortar is broken right now. Offensive mortar, defensive mortar. The mortar has so much synergy with all different cards. It's best played with the Spirit Goblins and the Miner, I have to say, or sometimes even a Wall Breaker. But it is one of the best win conditions right now with a 67% win rate for the top 1,000 ladder. And I just gotta say, the mortar is absolutely broken, guys. If you could squeeze this into your deck, I would highly suggest it. Also coming in at the broken tier is the Tesla. It is the best building. It is the absolute best building. It has the best defense out of anything in the game, honestly. Like, if you ever want to play a defensive control deck, or just a defensive deck in general, it has to have the Tesla in it, because the Tesla is a staple of the defense right now, guys. So I would definitely put Tesla in any deck I make. So almost all of my homemade decks include the Tesla, because it just allows you to control the map and bring everything to the center, and therefore everything will die a little bit quicker as well. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and place the Tesla as broken here, guys. Coming in at the Sparky. Alright, so Sparky is next. Coming in at the B tier, I'm going to go ahead and place the Sparky as average. Sparky I had as above average in the previous video, just because Sparky gets a couple of lucky hits that seem lucky at the time, as I've said before, but Sparky, it's not lucky hits. Like, every now and then you'll go with the Sparky and it gets a lucky hit on the tower, but it just gets hit every single time. It'll get hit on the tower, and it does an absurd amount of damage, but I still don't think its synergy is only really with the Goblin Giant. Maybe with the Goblin Drill coming in, maybe the Sparky will make its way back up to the A tier, guys. But I don't see it happening anytime soon, too soon at least. Alright, we have the Tornado next. So Tornado, I personally love. I love its control ability, and it's played by some of the top pros. I'm going to go ahead and list it as broken. So the main reason why I'm going and listing the Tornado as broken right now, guys, is just because, again, with the meta being spam troops, all the spam troops are like lightweight. Essentially, like, a lightweight in the game just means that they can be pulled much easier by the Tornado, and they can also be pushed around by the Bowler, as said before. So Tornado with the spam troop meta coming in, I would definitely say Tornado is broken right now and definitely counters the meta. Unfortunately, guys, I'm gonna go and put the Expo as below average right now, and this is solely because the Earthquake is making its way up the ranks, and the Earthquake Hog Rider Earthquake deck is one of the most popular decks in Clash Royale right now, and the Earthquake is such a hard counter to the Expo, and there's so many hard counters. Like, Spam Troops and Earthquake are just the hardest counters to an Expo possible, and they're the new meta. So with that being the new meta, unfortunately, I'm going to go and list the Expo as below average. I know it's a great card, I know it has some great decks out there, but it's still just a below average card, guys. Alright, so we're going to go and place the Golem as average tier. Again, guys, the meta has changed in the last week. I know Golem might have been broken on many tier lists last week, but now with this new meta, I really just don't see the Golem being an above average card. I think it's just an average card for right now. And sadly, after placing this in the above average tier, I'm going to go and place it in the average tier. I don't think the Battle Healer is as good as it once was, but with the meta being spam troops, I don't really see the Battle Healer being played all that much. I think its usage is going to go down over time. For that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the average, but it probably belongs in the below average tier, but I have a little bit of sentimental value when it comes to the Battle Healer. So, alright, coming up is the next tower, guys. So, as I said, spam troops, I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to keep spamming the spam troops, guys. So, Bomb Tower is going to be an above average card because it stops the meta. Let's go ahead with the Witch. Witch is below average. It's not quite trash, but compared to the other two Witches, I would never take it. I would never take it over a Mother Witch or a Night Witch, and it's one more elixir. Even if it was 4 elixir, I still don't think it would be worth it. I'm not a big fan of the Witch all in all, guys. Clone, I am a huge fan of. Clone is an average card. Like, Clone is it's a pretty average card. I don't want to say it's broken, but it just has such good synergy with some things, and I think it's going to make its way up the ranks, especially with the spam troops coming in, guys. I'm going to keep saying it, but with the spam troops coming in, if you use the Goblin Drill, as soon as the Goblin Drill breaks, you get 3 offensive goblins, and you can just go ahead and clone that into 6. So I definitely think the clone will be used a lot more once this Goblin Drill comes out, and that's kind of what I'm basing this tier maker off of, guys. And we're going to go ahead with the Dark Prince as above average because it stops the spam troops. We're going to go ahead and place the Night Witch again as above average, guys. Night Witch is amazing for a legendary card for 4 elixir. I think the Night Witch is definitely above average. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's not too popular of a card, but its win percentage is just way too high. I'm gonna go and place the E-Dragon as above average as well. Unfortunately, the reason why it's not broken is because it's like Lightning Arc only hits 3 troops. If it was unlimited troops, like just in a line, just like the Electro Spirit, which is how it should be, then it would be broken, but there's a reason why it's not, because that would be broken and a little bit unfair. So I'm gonna go and place the E-Giant as average. I don't think the E-Giant is above average, but it does counter the spam meta very well. But there's a lot of control decks out there that you can just control the E-Giant right to the middle, and it's essentially its area around it is just completely useless. I'm gonna go and place the E-Wiz as below average just because its usage went down from 7 to 3% in the last month. So it went from 7% of players to 3% of players in 1 month. Stopped playing the Electro Wizard, and I'm not really too sure as to why. I still like using it in my decks, but unfortunately I stopped using it, and I just don't know why. It's just one of those cards that just kind of phased out. Alright, so we'll go with Eagle Home here, guys. Eagle Home's above average. Believe it or not, I know it takes no skill, but Eagle Home is above average. It's not quite the best card in the game, but it's not the worst card in the game either, and it's a little better than most of the average cards, and that's just why it's going to be A tier here. Alright, and we have the Executioner. I'm going to have to go a little faster here, guys, literally just because there's so many cards in the game. So sorry if I don't give a huge explanation as to each, but don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, guys. Leaving a like on the video helps me out a lot more than you might think, and it really helps me grow as the channel. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the month, so we have another like 29 days, or no, another what, 19 days, guys, before the end of the month. So 19 days to get 400 subs. I think we can do it. Alright, so let's get right on with this video. So Executioner is next, and we're going to go ahead and place him in the trash tier. Executioner is just trash. I don't really know how else to put it, but it's 5 elixir. For 5 elixir, why not choose the Bomber? I know it hits everything in the air, and you could just use arrows or zap, and it really just should not be 5 elixir. If it was 4 elixir, I would debate about putting it in the average tier, but I'm definitely just going to go ahead and place Executioner in trash. Move a little bit faster here. Firecracker is going to be broken. Its usage went up from 3 to 8%. I don't know why. I think literally just because of this Hog EQ deck, and yeah, so many people using the Firecracker right now. It's one of the best cards in the game. I'm going to have to go with the Skeleton. I'm going to go and put them in the trash right there. It's one of the worst towers in the game, guys, especially for 3 elixir. Just spend 1 more and get the Tesla. We have the Giant. It's also trash. It's never used. It's used maybe in a Giant double Prince deck. It has good synergy with the Princes, but for 1 more elixir, I'd rather have a Royal Giant with so much further range. We have the Rocket. Rocket is below average now. It's not quite trash, but it has made its way down from the A all the way to the C tier, guys. And we're going to go ahead with the Guards. So again, this is a big balance change. Guards are going to be an average card now. They went from below average up to average just because there's not that many troops that can go and hit AoE in the above average and the broken tiers. So for that reason, I'll go ahead and place the Guards as average. And for the Bomber, I really love the Bomber, guys. We're going to go and place him above average because it just destroys the spam troops. And it is 2 elixir. Try not to mind 3 elixir right here. It's just not updated quite yet. We have the Fireball as well. I'm going to go and place the Fireball as broken. It has almost a 70% usage rate, especially in classic challenges. It's up to 74% usage. It's used everywhere. It's just a staple of Clash Royale, and you can't go wrong with a Fireball in your deck. So it's just a broken card right now. Fire Spirit. This has to get fixed to 1 elixir as well, but the Fire Spirit is broken after its rework. It is now 1 Fire Spirit instead of 3 Fire Spirits, and its AoE hits so many things. It can wipe out an entire Goblin gang. It can wipe out an entire Goblin barrel with any form of placement, and for that reason, Fire Spirit is broken. We're going to go with the Fisherman. Fisherman is also broken, but a 65% usage rate and about a 53% win rate coming in at the classic challenges right there, guys. So the Fisherman is definitely a broken card. You can any card that you can control the map, I'm going to consider broken, and the Fisherman's going to do that for you at 3 elixir. Flying Machine's definitely below average. I think its hit speed is the only thing that's keeping it above trash tier, but its health is just way below average, guys. Royal Ghost is an average card. Not much to say about that. I like its invisibility aspect of that, and it does a good amount of damage, and it's AoE, so it's going to be average, but it's not going to be above average because it has very slow attack speed. And we're going to go with the Miner. A Miner is above average right now, guys, just because meta, as I keep saying, is spam troops, and the Miner can just get in the back line and tank for you. And it's the same reason why I'm going to go ahead and place a different card in the above average tier when we get to it. But alright, so Log. right up there with the fireball, guys. About a 65% usage rate, up to a 70% usage rate in classic challenge. So log is gonna definitely be a broken card here, guys. Alright, and we're gonna go with the giant skeleton. After receiving a slight buff, it goes from trash to below average. It still does a good amount of damage to the towers right now, but not as much as you'd like to see. So then we'll go with the Goblin Giant. Goblin Giant is an average card. It's used fairly often, but not as often as you might like. And I think with the Goblin Drill coming up, it might push it up to above average. We'll have to see with that synergy right there. Mini P.E.K.K.A, average card right there, guys. Coming in hot with a Wizard at trash? No, below average? Wizard is an average card, guys. Alright, so Wizard is an average card. Let me explain this, because Wizard was a trash card before. And so Wizard is definitely going to be an average card now because of the spam troops, and it just wipes everything out. It does so much damage, and it has a good amount of health, believe it or not. So it's definitely, I think, in my opinion, one of the best Wizards in the game. But I don't know, maybe not a lot of people agree with that. A lot of these spells, the only reason I'm not putting the arrows in the broken tier is because the log and the fireball are already broken. You can't have 3 spells that are broken. That's just not fair. So arrows are going to be above average. They do have a good amount of damage, and they do stop the spam troops fairly well. So we're going to go ahead with the Spear Goblins, and we're going to go and place them as an average card. Good offense and defensive capabilities coming in with the Spear Goblins. Goblin Cage is a great tower to use, but not quite the best. So Goblin Cage is going to be an average card here, guys. Then we're going to go with the Skeletons. Skeletons are broken. You can control the map so well with Skeletons, honestly, and they're 1 elixir, so you can use any type of a cycle deck. Valkyrie, I love the Valkyrie, and I want to place it as above average, but its usage, it has amazing synergy, I know, but its usage is just still not where it needs to be. If its usage was a little bit higher, I would definitely place it in the A tier, and I think it should be in the A tier, guys. Like, I think the Valkyrie is a good enough card to be in the A tier, but with only a 7% usage rate, I really don't see it going up all that high. Alright, we're going to go with the Cannon here, guys. Cannon is a trash card. It's phasing out the 2.6 Hog Rider even. Like, 2.6 Hog Rider doesn't include a cannon anymore just because it's not a good card. Goblin Gang is going to be below average with the Fire Spirit buff. Now it just gets one shot by the Fire Spirit, and that you don't like to see that. Graveyard is becoming hard to stop. You can stop the Graveyard with a freeze. No. You can stop the Graveyard with a poison. But if someone's running a Graveyard freeze, it's almost impossible to keep your tower alive. It's going to be a 2-tower kind of a game, guys. Coming in with the Heal Spirit here, it's not my favorite spirit, it's not the worst spirit. I'll talk more about the Heal Spirit when I get into the other one, but for now, that's just an average card. Furnace is going to be a broken card, guys. Furnace is going to be broken after the latest buff, and maybe I'm hyping it up a little bit, but it just spawns those Fire Spirits, and like the Fire Spirits is absolutely amazing, and if you can get a couple of them out, and still 4 elixir, and now it spawns even more Fire Spirits that do even more damage, so of course it's going to be broken. Goblin Barrel, it's going to drop from above average to average solely because of the Fire Spirit as well. It's a hard counter, and its usage is flying up with the Fire Spirit. Hog Rider is a broken card. It's so easy to get just 1 hit every single time you use the Hog Rider, and it has so much synergy with so many different cards. Its usage is going through the roof this last week, so for that reason, Hog Rider is going to be broken. Hunter is going to go and be a below average card. Its usage is just not where it should be. Royal Giant, I love the Royal Giant, but it's just average, guys. It's just another average win condition card. Same here with the Balloon. Balloon is getting easier and easier to stop for people every day, especially with the Control being the new meta. With the Tornado, the Tesla, Skeletons, like everything like that can just go ahead and easily like control the Balloon to the center of the map and make it useless. And then we're going to go with the Ice Golem. Ice Golem is going to be a little bit above average because it's 2 elixir and it's a heavy tank. Ice Wizard is going to be right average with the Wizard, but it's going to be slightly below the Wizard, but it's not a below average card by any means. So Ice Wizard is going to be an average card right there, guys. And then we have the Baby Dragon. Baby Dragon is going to be above average card. I like that it's flying and it hits AoE. For that reason, it's going to be above average. Wall Breakers are just an average card. They're so easily stopped. Zap is below average now. Zap used to be an average / above average card, but now it's just an average one. Inferno Dragon, I'm going to go ahead and list that as average. It does a good amount of damage, but not how much it should. Barb Hut, trash, guys, don't use the Barb Hut. Knight is a broken card. It's just ridiculous. For 3 elixir, you get so much HP, and it can tank anything. Earthquake is the absolute best spell in the game, in my personal opinion. I love the Earthquake, I always have, and that is why we're gonna have I think 4 spells now in the broken tier. Royal Delivery is below average, not as highly used as it should be. Cannon cards can be average here, guys. And honestly, the cannon card isn't that great. It received a little bit of a buff in the cannon form, but still not near where it should be. We're going to go with the Zappies. The Zappies, I'm going to play some average. I'm going to place the Zappies average, guys. They're not the best. They're not the worst. We're going to go with the Archers here. Archers are definitely below average. That's like pretty clear. They're not quite trash. They're getting a little bit of usage with the synergy with Expo, but the Expo itself is below average. For that reason, Archers are average here, guys. Lava Hound, it's not quite broken. It's not broken. Lava Hound is above average, but it just counters so many things because it just spawns so many troops, and there's not a lot of things that hit AoE in the air. Besides the Baby Dragon, there's not much. Baby Dragon, Firecracker, Tornado, things like that are like Tesla. But yeah, besides those, I would definitely put the Lava Hound as an above average card here, guys. All right, let's keep this going. Let's keep this ball rolling, guys. I'm gonna like fix my chair right here. We got the Lightning. All right, speed round real quick. Lightning, below average. I wouldn't use it. Ice Spirit, amazing spirit, coming up way better than the Heal Spirit, one of the best spirits in the game, but not quite the best because the Fire Spirit is the best right now. Now we get the Magic Archer, guys. Alright, Magic Archer is below average. It does a lot of damage unless you can really control the map, and you have to be very good in controlling the map. I would go ahead and place that as below average. Mega Minion's average. I'm going to do a speed round here. E-Barbs, come on, guys. Still broken. Doesn't matter. Who cares with the line of sight? Minion Horde, definitely 5 elixir, trash. Regular minions, trash. You never see them played. If you see them played, it's with a mirror clone. Mirror, I love the mirror. It's above average and super underrated. The most underrated card in the game. Mirror clone is one of the best combos, and it's very underplayed. We're going to go with the Mother Witch as a broken card. It's very hard to counter unless you have a Fireball. And of course, 70% of people do have a Fireball. We have the Mega Knight. With the spam troops, I'm going to go ahead and place it average. Musketeers, below average card. Not amazing right there. We got the P.E.K.K.A. Got the P.E.K.K.A. as below average, guys. P.E.K.K.A.'s below average. I love the P.E.K.K.A. I personally love the P.E.K.K.A. It's coming back in the meta a little bit, kind of as a major tank for these spam troops, but I would only place it in average if it was used for its damage, but it's really not. It's just used as a big tank. And now we have the Poison. Poison counters the meta pretty hard. I can't keep putting spells in there. I'm going to go ahead and place that above average just because the Poison is an above average card. Not much else to explain that out of that. It has like 55% win rate, and for that reason it's above average. Alright, so we have the Prince, 49% win rate. It's going to put it below average, but my personal opinion, I don't care about the win rate for the Prince. It's an average card. Bandit. Alright guys, I got some heat for the Bandit, putting it in the trash. I did some research, I started playing with the Bandit, and it's an above average card. Like, I was looking at the win rate. Its win rate was 60% in the classic challenges, and in the grand challenges it was like 57%. So yeah, Bandit, above average card for sure all the way. Sorry about the last tier list there, guys. Got carried away. Alright, Princess, average card, very easy to counter, especially just with the skeletons or the Fire Spirit now. Lumberjack, above average as well. The rages that it gives off is just absolutely amazing. I think its hit speed is way too fast, and it has way too much health. It should have the same amount of health as a Flying Machine if it was like a normal card, but it doesn't. Rage, below average. No, Rage is trash. Rage is very trash. For 2 elixir, I'd much rather have anything else in the game. I'd rather have the 2 elixir Fire Spirits that like weren't ever used in the Rage. Alright, so we're going to go with the Ram Rider. Ram Rider's above average. I like that it just goes and consistently hits everything around it. Like the E-Giant, I got roasted for the Rascals, and now they got buffed, and now the Rascals are broken. Believe it or not, Rascals are broken. They went from, I think, like a 4% usage to 63% usage rate after this last balance. I think a lot of people were itching to use it in log baits and mortar decks, and now they finally can. And for that reason, Rascals are broken, and they're up there with the mortar, guys. Rascal mortar decks are coming in hot. You might start seeing them next week, maybe the week after, and that's going to be a very strong deck to verse, honestly. Freeze is average. Freeze is going to be average here, guys. We have the Royal Hogs, spam, of course, above average. Royal Recruits, oh, I didn't grab the Royal Recruits there. Royal Recruits, average card right here. Skeleton Barrel is going to be average. It always consistently gets a little bit of drop damage. Skeleton Dragons are below average because of their health. Electro Spirit is one of the worst spirits, guys. I hate to break it to you, but I would never use I would rather use the Heal Spirit over Electro Spirit in most decks. Even in like an Expo deck where the Heal Spirit does nothing. I'm just not a big fan of the Electro Spirit, and that's kind of why. Goblin Hut is gonna be trash. Goblin Hunt's gonna be trash. I know it has some good synergy with most decks, guys, but it needs rework. It needs to spawn the troops a little bit faster. We're gonna go and place the Skarmy in the average tier. Skarmy is a very average card, and we have the Giant Snowball. The Giant Snowball is an amazing card, and it's gonna be above average, guys. The radius, like the damage spread radius on the Snowball is so wide. You can like activate the King Tower, as I did in a video previously, by using the Snowball. You can activate the King Tower against the Miner. Musketeers, the most expensive card in the game, are trash. No card should be 9 elixir. It should be 8 elixir. I know it's 3, and you could just spawn 2 Musketeers, but like, no. Musketeers, 3 Musketeers, trash. Alright, that was it for the video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, like, question of the day down below. Turn on those notifications as well, and a big shout out to the Pantheon family for being one of my new partners. Alright, and that was really it for the video, guys. Peace out.